9 News Plus weather, sponsored by Carrier Colorado. The future of home comfort is here.
Hey, happy Tuesday, and thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus for a detailed look at your Colorado weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and because it is Colorado and because it is March, it is a swing season. That means we've got some fairly variable weather, to say the least, coming on up over the next 24 to 48 hours. So get ready, strap on in. Here comes the roller coaster ride of Colorado weather. It starts up here in the mountains. Now, today, beautiful day. If you're lucky enough to be skiing or snowboarding today, first of all, I'm really jealous of you. Second of all, we are going to be talking about some pretty fast changing conditions for tomorrow in particular. I will say this, if you're heading up to the high country, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night looks especially difficult in terms of that travel. So again, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night in the high country, I would avoid it if possible. Thursday we'll still have some snow left over, but it shouldn't be as bad on Thursday compared to tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Meantime, Lookout Mountain, Denver area, different story. We're already well into the 50s across most of the Denver area as of 11 a.m. here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. We're on our way to probably our warmest day in about 5 months for us here in the Denver area. So get outside. I was just talking to my colleague meteorologist Greg Perez. We're both planning on getting outside today and getting in on some of this beautiful weather before, well, things change a little bit later on this week. All right, warmest day since November the 8th, most likely for us today. If we get up to 65 or above, that would make it a warmest day since November the 8th. So as I mentioned, warmest day in about 5 months for us here into the Denver area. Mountain snowstorm starting tomorrow. Today's a pretty nice day, so again, any sort of travel into the high country today looks spectacular. Even tomorrow morning should be okay as well. It's tomorrow afternoon where I'm pretty concerned about that high country travel. And then a huge cool down ahead for us here in the Denver area. Colorado doing Colorado things later on this week. Now, in terms of those winter weather alerts, most of us here in the high country above 8,000 feet under a winter storm warning. Those winter storm warnings are in red. In teal, those are winter weather advisories, and in that kind of darker shade of teal, that's where we got a winter storm watch for the wet mountains and the San Cristos forests of northern New Mexico and on down into southern Colorado here, including Raton Pass as well as Levada Pass. So kind of sum this up for you here, folks. It looks like, again, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night will be the most difficult of that travel period for us into the high country. AC Doppler radar, unusually quiet, especially for mid-March for us into the high country right now, but that's not going to last because you look off towards the west, and you may have heard about California just getting absolutely pounded with rain and snow so far this winter, and perhaps today may be the most significant of those string of atmospheric river events for us in California. And by the way, if you're joining us here on 9 News Plus, I'm going to have a detailed explainer on what California has seen all winter long and also how it's impacted us here in Colorado. That's coming up at 12:30, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, for us here in California, this system, a piece of it, will reach us here in Colorado tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. So again, LA, you've probably heard about all the flood issues they've had out there. Again, some of that moisture reaches us tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, but it won't be nearly as bad as what they're seeing out there in California. Now, tomorrow morning, again, today's okay, tonight's okay. Tomorrow morning, we do start to see some snow showers, especially in the San Juans and the Grand Valley. That will eventually spread east for the Denver area into our Thursday, but in the meantime, the mountain's a fair bit of snow on its way with a widespread, again, 6, 7, 8 inches plus of snowfall for us into the high country. Now, in terms of the other story, and this is the story for us today, this is it. It's those temperatures. It is already a balmy 52 for us here in Denver. It feels like Miami right now compared to what we've had all week long and all winter long into the high country, 30s and 40s. So it is a straight up bluebird day. Again, if you're lucky enough to be skiing or snowboarding today, you can shed that coldest layer. It's going to be one of those beautiful Colorado ski days for us into the high country. I think I mentioned it enough. Boy, I'm jealous of those who happen to be lucky enough to be skiing or snowboarding today. So we will increase clouds for us here along the front range. That's out ahead of that next storm system. Nothing's going to come from those clouds. We'll just notice, again, mid to high level cloud cover on the increase as we head through the day today. 66 for a high temperature. As I mentioned, that should be our warmest day since November the 8th. So been a little while since we've been this warm, and I'm sure plenty of us will get outside and enjoy this wonderful weather. Tonight, seasonal, a little bit warmer than average, with the high in the upper 20s, mostly cloudy skies for us, and sunset at 7:04 p.m. Now for tomorrow, 71 for us here in Denver. We've not hit 70 or above since, again, last November. Our average first 70-degree day here in Denver is on March the 9th, so we're actually slightly overdue for our first 70-plus day of the year, but we should get one, maybe even today, but most likely tomorrow. And those winds on the light side as well, but we will have mostly cloudy skies overhead. That is thanks to that approaching storm system out in California, and that will eventually, well, reach us here starting on Wednesday night and your Thursday morning for us along the Front Range and the mountains. You'll feel those impacts throughout the day tomorrow. So forecast highs for tomorrow, a lot of 30s and 40s for us into the high country, even a few 50s in some of those lower elevations in the St. Louis Valley, as well as slide out there on the banks of the Arkansas River. Meantime, eastern plains, wouldn't be surprised if somebody out there in Prowers or Baca County comes in at 80 tomorrow. We're going to be pretty toasty for tomorrow and for your March the 15th. So pretty toasty day shaping on up. But again, all eyes here on the high country. So let's kind of walk you through in a bit more detail what you can expect as we get through that forecast. So tomorrow morning, again, we'll see some of those initial snow showers. By the way, snow levels are going to be pretty high with this storm system. This is a warm one. This is an atmospheric river setup. It's toasty, as I mentioned, relatively speaking, today. So long story short, we got a lot of warm air in place, and the origins of this rain and snow coming from the south and the west. So again, it's a warm storm system. So I think Grand Junction, you can see yourself there, Grand Junction, Fruita, the Grand Valley, this is going to be all rain for you. Montrose, anything below probably 6,000 feet. This is mostly rain for you. It's once you start getting up to 6,500, 7,000 feet, so you get that kind of wet, gloppy snow that moves its way into the picture tomorrow, and then tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Again, that travel looks pretty rough there into the high country, and eventually some of that moisture reaches us into the Denver area as well. Not looking at a ton of accumulation for us in terms of snow or even rain for us into the Denver area, but we will get some probably rain and snow showers tomorrow night and Thursday morning, maybe a coating of snow for us in Denver, and maybe up to 1 or 2 inches of wet, heavy snow into the foothills for tomorrow night and Thursday morning. Wind gust forecast, winds will be a little gusty at times tonight and tomorrow. This is out ahead of that next storm system, but I think it's more tomorrow where we'll see those really gusty winds, and also for your Thursday as well throughout the high country, where we could see some gusts up to 50, 60 miles an hour. That's going to continue to make travel especially difficult for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night in the high country. Eastern plains, most of us gusting close to 30, 40 miles an hour, mostly on Thursday, and then those winds die back down for your Friday. So here's how it kind of all shakes out for the Denver area. Look at that huge swing in temperatures. We're going to go from 71 on Wednesday to a high of 37 on your Thursday. Again, Colorado doing Colorado things for us. That is just your, your average 35-degree temperature drop in just the span of about 24 hours. Overnight lows Thursday morning to Friday, 16 degrees. So it is cold. It is everything that today and tomorrow will not be. So it's going to be, again, that cold, snowy pattern. Sunday, Monday, you see some of those snow showers in the forecast. This is going to be mostly a southeast Colorado system. That's the way it looks right now. But we do have enough cloud cover and enough moisture that I think we get at least a few snow showers to push the way into the Front Range for Sunday and Monday, somewhere in there. At this point, it doesn't look like a big deal for the Front Range. We'll keep posted on this. If this does track 150, 200 miles north, then it would be a bigger deal for the Front Range. But Pueblo, Trinidad, Walsenburg, this could be a bigger deal for our friends out there from Highway 50 on south. But for us here in the Denver area at this point, it doesn't look like a big deal. None of these snow events look like a big deal. But I will also throw in the caveat that we're in a pretty active pattern, and it's also a very busy time of year on average for us here along the Front Range. So stay tuned. Trust me on that. This is a busy time of year. Meantime, snowpack numbers looking great. The San Juans off. This has been a monster season for us in the San Juans, the Gunnison River basins. Boy, we are talking about one of our biggest snowpack seasons on record in that part of the state. And most of the mountains looking at really good snowfall totals so far this winter season, exception being the Arkansas River Basin. But I actually wrote a story on this on 9news.com yesterday if you want to look at more details about the snowpack. But in the meantime, again, big takeaways, Warm in Denver today and tomorrow. Then we see that huge temperature drop tomorrow night and Thursday morning, and that will crash us from the 70s down to the 30s for a high temperature between Wednesday and Thursday. A little bit of rain and snow, not a big deal for us Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And then for the high country, it will be a big deal snow event for us into the high country, where we could see as much as 2 feet worth of snowfall. Most of that comes down tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. So I want to reemphasize the fact that if you are traveling through the mountains, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night looks pretty dicey. I would especially say Wolf Creek Pass and Monarch Pass look the worst to me at this point. So again, just avoid those areas if you can tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. So hopefully that gives you a good idea about what to expect. And by the way, I also want to mention coming up at 12:30 more details on what California is seeing, why it's been such a busy season out there into the Golden State, and how we've felt some of those impacts here in Colorado as well. So I'll have more details on that coming up at 12:30. Meantime, meteorologist Greg Perez will have an update for you coming up at 9 News at noon, and also at 2 p.m. here on 9 News Plus. And then also Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin's in at 4 and 5 today. And meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, and 10 tonight on the 9 News family of networks. Once again, I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.